Welcome to the Pipes Network. I'm Jimmy, yet one day closer to what I want most, and that's to be in a body bag, 100% clean and sober. And I don't care what anybody thinks about that. That's what I want, and that's exactly what I'm gonna get. I'm here with a very special guest. In fact, it's quite the honor to be next to this man right here. Jon Jon, AKA Dr. Bob.
What's going on? Thank you so much, Bill.
Well, listen to me. Before we get to Jon, he's got a big enough ego, so I'll go first. We lost one of ours today, okay? Me and Jon are talking about this. I'm trying to figure out why other addicts don't feel what I see in each and every one of us. And that's real value, okay? And I know Jon agrees with me. He feels like I do, and he rolls like I do, if that's even possible. But the bottom... He sucks the juice out of life. He lives in the moment. This man enjoys his life. It's exciting to be around him. He's happy. He's at peace. He knows what he wants. He knows what he doesn't want. The pitch is clear to him, as it is for me, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, this thing that wants us to suffer and die, it needs to stop. Is anybody listening? Anyone wants to get anything out of this? It's like this with me. Ready? We can't go back, okay? There's orphan kids tonight. You know, we lost this guy. I like this guy. He was a good guy. Great father. The implications would have been huge if he went the one way. Instead, we got orphans. Makes me sick. All right, let me turn it over to you. I'm getting aggravated.
I feel you. And, definitely I want to say rest in peace to him. And, I remember him at the place that I go to get better. And I think like Jimmy was saying before that, like, I understand the feeling of being addicted and not being able to, being stuck in that, and kind of like, it's hard to pull away from that. But at the same time, working and talking to other people, I lose the disconnect now where I sometimes don't understand, like, maybe why somebody wouldn't feel the way I feel about it, right? Like, seeing like, aren't you sick enough about it? Doesn't it, like, don't you want the pain to stop? And sometimes, the answer is, we don't even know that the pain can stop. I know for my own life, like, I still go through feelings like anyone else. I still have the pains of, anxiety and depression come up, or like uncertainty and things like that. But for the most part, like, like Jimmy was saying, I live very free, very free life today. And that's because, people helped me, people that were better, who were just like me, showed me how to do that. And it took a process to do that. So they always say, like, this is very fatal. It's a progressively fatal disease. And I believe that. And I heard yesterday, actually, somebody say, I feel like, since it's fatally progressive, my recovery has to be equally as progressive in the other direction. So when you're progressing in that direction to get better, you're getting further and further away from the person that was addicted. So the Jon that used to be homeless, sleeping behind dumpsters, sleeping in the woods, sleeping in the homeless shelters and bouncing around, from rehab, inpatient and outpatient, and being in jail, being handcuffed. I was handcuffed more than a couple of times in the hospital because I legally couldn't leave because my blood alcohol was so high, and they can't legally let you go. I actually escaped one time from the hospital over here in Bayshore.
Jesus,
and the police called me at the train station. They pulled up right there, and they said, come on. They were just like, they weren't even angry. They're like, come on. They're like, they pulled me back. They brought me back to the hospital. So, no one can BS me and tell me that I don't understand. So I understand. Let
me interject with a question.
Yeah,
you scratched on an interesting point.
Go ahead.
But looking at you, you said something about, it almost sounded as if when you had your disease demon full tilt. Mm-hmm. It's like the most horrible, vile aspect of this thing. We don't know we're sick, correct? We think that's how we are. Is that what you were saying? Like you couldn't see it like I could see it.
Yeah. Oh no, well, I I didn't know I was sick because at that time I didn't get into any type of recovery. So at that time I didn't know I was sick. There was no like, I'm sick. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was living my life. That's all. That was life for me. Life was like, going, getting messed up, waking up, dusting myself off, continuing with the day to just get messed up a little later, and then doing the same thing over and over again in that hamster wheel that was like, like Bill Murphy, Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day. And it was
bullshit over
and over again. And I didn't realize I was sick. I didn't realize what was going on. It wasn't until like I met people that were in recovery, and they shared the same stories as me, and that's exactly what happened, where I was able to identify with them and say, that sounds like me. And they had like, addiction and alcoholism and like, all these other ailments. And I said, wow. Then slowly but surely I started to think maybe I have it. And then after some time I was like, oh no, I do have what they have. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
all
what
right.
happened.
Let's scratch on the detox.
Yeah.
It took me, I didn't know it. I felt good day one. You remember?
Oh yeah.
I look back. I needed a year. Okay,
Yeah.
I needed a year. My body needed a year. My mind, the spirit, I had the psychic shift in place from day one. I got lucky. God gave me a gift. But my body was shot. Years of abuse and decadence and neglect. I needed a year.
Yeah, I know.
What about you?
Yeah, I needed time to... I still need time. Even with some time later, I still need time to be good to myself and let myself get better. Because sometimes I think I'm better than I actually am, and my actions speak. When you're walking around angry all the time, maybe it's time to figure out why you're angry all the time and like address these things. Like again, like if I'm walking around drunk, or I'm walking around trying to get like the next fix, then I had to figure out why I'm going that route, and I need time to get away.
So that's what the steps are for, no?
Yeah. And
let's talk about that. You worked at Honest 12, right?
I think there's like about 14 or 15.
Really? You created your own.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
We're innovators.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, I was, again, a guy said that he would explain them to me, and he did, and I heard it, and I did it the way he did it, and lo and behold, it's been, in October, it'll be 7 years for me. So
Jeez.
I walked away from, I'm still in recovery for a lot of other things, in codependency, I go to therapy, I go and I try to, pray away the demons. So I go to my place of worship, I meditate. Even today, like I was really frustrated, and I have a lot of projects I'm doing, so I threw my paper down that I'm writing, like, I'm writing what I need to write, but then I said, you know what, and I put on 5-minute meditation, and I put my little headphones on, and I did 5 minutes. Like, it's a lot of people, I hear a lot of people talk, and I'm going to be really honest with you. If you don't have 5 minutes to pray, you're in a lot more trouble than you think you are, and that's how I feel. If I don't have a literal minute, I could just take 60 seconds to get on my knees and pray. If I don't have that minute, I'm in trouble. If I go on YouTube, they have 2-minute meditations, they have 5-minute meditations, they have 10-minute meditations, whatever you want. If I don't have 2 minutes to meditate, if I don't have 5 minutes to meditate, I think I'm in trouble. What is my time going towards? Because I'll tell you right now, I had people that said they didn't have time to read, they didn't have time to take their medication, they didn't have time to call someone, they didn't have time to go to a 12-step meeting or something like that, but they had time to relapse, they had time to smoke, they had time to find the drugs, they had time to drink, they had time to wake up hungover. So it's not that I don't have the time, because at the end of the day, that's bullshit that I don't have the time. I make the time. I made the time to get fucked up.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, didn't you make the time to get fucked
did.
up? We made the time to get fucked up. So that's what I'm saying. We have this delusion that we think that we can't get over this, and we stay stuck in that, and it kills us. It doesn't we might be alive. I might not die physically, but I'll be dead inside. I will walk around this world like a zombie, and I'll tell you, that what scares me more. They reference something called an alcoholic death, and I don't think an alcoholic death to me means that I die, because that'd be the easy part. I die and there's nothing else. To me, like, an alcoholic death is that I'm walking around like a fucking zombie, I can't breathe because the anxiety got me feeling like I'm choking. I feel so empty on the inside. I'm fucking terrified. I'm confused, and I feel like shit, and I'm numb to the world. To me, that is what is an alcoholic death. That's the death of an
suffering.
Yeah, the death of an addict. It's simply a suffering. They talk about the suffering addict. So when we have a moment of silence, we still have a moment of silence for the still sick and suffering. Do we think about that? The moment of silence, because we're having a moment of silence not because they died physically, but because they died emotionally on the inside, spiritually, mentally. They're dead and they're sick and they're suffering. So if you're sick and you're suffering, I was sick and suffering. I don't suffer as much as I used to, but sometimes when I want to, I can let myself suffer. I let myself go into that anxiety. I let the anxiety play its role in my head, or I let the depression, oh, poor Jon, like, man, I got to get this finished, or I got to do this, and I think I got to do so many things that are really just self-centered actions that I want, but really at the end of the day, I don't have to. That's, God's will is for me to try my best and to accomplish what needs to be accomplished that might benefit other people. So, like, meditating, right?
You're big on the meditation.
I'm talking about the meditating. Why? Because my buddy just went back out, right? He said he said that he wanted to go back out. I said, all right. I said, let me ask you something. When you go pick that up, how does it help anybody, right? So, like, if I went to go drink or smoke or any other type of thing right now, how is that helping you guys out there? Or how's that helping Jimmy? Or how's that helping the next person, right? But if I meditate, how is that helping someone else? I'm more centered when I meditate. When I sit down and I do that 1 minute of prayer, even if I don't have an exact God, for example, or higher power, who gives a crap? They just said do it, and I did it, and then I came to believe later on. Actually, to be honest, the coming to believe part of, like, step 2 of any 12-step program is just like, you just need a starting point. You don't have to swallow the whole thing right away. So that'll come. But once I pray, I feel more empowered. I feel like I feel like I'm given power because I have responsibility now. Like, I feel like, all right, he's going to take care of all the hard stuff and I can take care of all the little stuff.
Sets
like,
the tone.
It sets the tone for the day. So we have that. That helps other people. When I go to a 12-step meeting, that helps other people. When I make a phone call, that helps other people. Me smoking weed doesn't help anyone but myself. In fact, it spits in the face of the people that try to help me in that day. It really does. And it spits in the face of my family, of my support group, of the future people that I have potentially of helping. So, when I do all these other great things like writing, therapy, right? Going to therapist, finding a place of worship that works for me, and just putting myself out there and just sitting in a room. You don't even have to, like, and nowadays it's like the Zoom meetings are online, but, like, just being there, having your presence there helps other people.
Okay, let me ask you about this. It sounds to me like he's taking very good care of himself, knowing he can help others while he does it, because he's running at optimum. He's got his you can clearly see this man here, as handsome as he is, not quite as handsome as me, but
I'm getting there.
He's getting there. He's got the tan. He's got me beat on it. Here's the thing. Jon has his mind, his body, and his spirit well connected today. Makes him a very dangerous man, okay? This is why when you walk into a room, you want what we have. Because of him. When I walked in, I saw Jon and that big smile on his face, and I said to myself, he knows something I don't. That bothered me. Okay?
It's a secret.
But I liked it. Yeah, I did. I was like, why is this guy smiling?
What is this secret?
I know why now. Because it's good. Now let's talk to the one addict. Maybe there's more than one.
Maybe.
But there's definitely one. We got 100+ subscribers. There's a lot of people watching the Pipes Network. Little because of me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just got a big mouth. And I want to help. So does Jon. But the bottom line is, if you're teetering, don't go back. Listen, I keep my line open 24 hours. Jon sometimes picks up his phone.
Sometimes I pick it up.
It's right there. Pray a prayer. Okay, let God remove this from you. There's a way to do this. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes, but you will have a redeeming, valuable existence. You'll be saved in so many words. My ass was saved probably from hell. Okay? That's just for starters. I'm just not the same man today. It started with getting clean. So, like Jon said, you need a starting point. First thing I wanted to do was clean myself up. I get all this other stuff in trade. I feel valuable today. I feel important. And so does Jon. And that's the truth. I walked in, I wanted what Jon had. and he's still there. What a great example for a guy like me. I'm like a newborn baby in a lot of ways. Sobriety really does look good on him, doesn't it?
Look at it. He looks like a newborn baby.
I
too.
do.
You got it.
The cheeks are red and everything.
Yo, my man Phil, he has some years on him, and when I first had started coming around, I heard him speak, and he said that, you know, the person that took him through 12 steps had said to him, give me like 190 days or 6 months. I believe that might be like 6 months or whatever. I think it's 190. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. And so he said, give me that time. He goes, and if you want, go back. He goes, just give me this time, 6 months or whatever. Or even he said, I think maybe he even said 90 days. 90 days. He goes, 90 days. Give me 90 days. But give me your all for 90 days. And at the end of the 90 days, if you want to go back to the way you were, you know, I'll even, you know, you go. But like, you know, just give me those days. And his story, the way he was, like you were saying, like he was so bright and happy and a confident man, and the way he said how he was, I almost didn't believe him. And we kind of don't believe that. Like, I sat in the back of the room. I don't know if you know this, but I sat in the back of the room. I didn't speak for 7 months. I only spoke to the one guy that was taking me through 12 steps.
I didn't know
and
that.
I wouldn't speak, and now Jimmy knows I don't shut the fuck up, and that's like
really
a true
kinda
thing.
Doesn't.
Yeah, I just keep going, but like
I like it.
I really didn't have that confidence. I had low self-esteem. I'm still working on my self-esteem. I'm still working on these things. You know, that's what, you know, like 10, 11, and 12 are, because they're the continuation, right? If I'm not making mistakes or being wrong, then why the hell do I need a 10 step? If I'm already have my connection with higher power, why do I need an 11 step? And then, you know, what am I doing? Like, am I helping people or not? You know, because then there's no need for the 12 step if I'm already kind of doing it. So it's just reminders and stuff like that. But like I said, Phil had taught me that, like, just that time, what, like, people always say, like, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by doing these things that we talk about that makes us happy, that makes us free? And you know what, maybe if you're like new, or you're just coming around and you're thinking, I can't be like that. I was on the street, like I said. I was sleeping in the dirt. When it rained, I didn't have even a blanket. I was getting rained on, and the dirt turned to mud. So I was sleeping literally in mud. You know, I'm sleeping in a room full of 70 men on cots. You know, I was in the Brooklyn rehab. You know what I'm saying? Staying there. Some days I was like, I don't need this. I'm good. Like, I swear to God, I don't ever want to use again or drink again. And then the next day I'm sweating, wishing that, like, I can get out of there. But like, I couldn't get out of there. Like, you know, I was really stuck in the insanity. And they say we're insane. So if you think that you're not insane, maybe, you know, looking at the retrospect is, how do you feel? If you feel like shit and you feel like you want to, why are you tuning in then? If you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you be tuning in at all then? If you're feeling good, then you wouldn't be tuning in. If you're looking for help, I don't ever remember sitting at a bar having a great time and saying, all right, guys, I got to go to a 12-step meeting. Peace out, you know, and then go to a 12-step meeting. Like, that was not the truth. If you're having a good time, if you could do it like a normal person, more power to you. I say you go. You know, I'm free today. I'm a performer. I would perform at bars. I can go when I'm feeling good. I can go if I feel spiritually well. I can go and chill and go to a birthday party at a bar or a get together, and it doesn't bother me today. But early in sobriety, it bothered me. It really did bother me, and I thought for the rest of my life I would have to feel trapped, and I couldn't go here, I couldn't go to that wedding, I couldn't go to this event. Yeah, and they promised me that what they promised me came true. All the freedom that they said, it came true, and that's the only reason why I stayed, because they said that I would keep receiving them. They didn't say that you just get it once and then that's it. Like, they say I keep receiving it. And then they told me, though, but in order to keep it, you must give it away. So I have it as a duty. I can never, you say it all the fucking time. You say it all the time. I can't give back what AA gave me. And Jimmy always says that. He always says, I can't give back what AA gave me.
Let me interject with that. Like he said, I could give all I got every day for the rest of my life and not come close to what I've been freely given on the first day. Okay? So guess what? It's the least I can do to give back a little bit. So yeah, I'll run my mouth a little bit. Maybe rattle a few cages. But the bottom line is this. We're running out of time. Let's cover one last thing. Big John.
Yeah.
My one concern when I came down was I'm not the type of guy that can be broken like. I never could be. God had to give me this. I was never going to get it gradually. So anyway, I got it. I saw it, grabbed it, ran with it. Okay, that being said, brainwashing was the concern. Mike talks about we're not brainwashed, but our brain needed a good washing. Comment on that.
Oh my God, yeah. My brain, when I came in, was a big mush, and kind of I spoke in a way that was like, yo, fuck this, fuck you, fuck everything. I don't even want to be here. And the way I speak now is completely different. I didn't have a vocabulary, and when I start to come around people that had the same thing I had, which is alcoholism and addiction, and I saw that they overcame that, I slowly started to wash this brain. I started to wash out all the negative things. I started to wash out how I used to think. I used to think the world was so different than it is now, and I'm really happy. I guess they call that gratitude. And I sometimes don't see it within myself that that's what it is, but I believe, I guess now, I can see that that's what it is. I'm happy that, we have to, they say change, you have to change the brain that came in the room. And there is some, like I said, in certain 12-step recovery factions that said that that a man that cannot. Okay, remember I talked about how I can go to the bar if I'm feeling spiritually okay and fit. If there's an event going on, if there's a whatever after party or birthday party, or a place that they're serving liquor, or if I have a wife or something like that drinks. They said in these readings that they said a man that cannot do this still has an alcoholic mind, and that's the point, right? He still has the alcoholic mind. So we got to wash that out and clean it up, and then you become free. If I still have an alcoholic mind, then I'm gonna act alcoholically, because I act how my mind thinks. And today I think that people like Jimmy that do this, that actually want to help people, tell them like, hey, I was fucked up, and now I'm not as fucked up, and I'm happy,
Point blank.
Right?
You're not brainwashed.
Yeah.
So what he's really trying to say, we're not brainwashed. We're free. Okay? We get to choose today. It was one way before. Now we get to wake up and make a choice. God willing, it'll be the right one for me until I get to that body bag. I ask him every day to reinforce it. I keep good people like Jon around me at all times to protect me for when I'm weak, because I'm a strong guy, but there's been times when I've been carried. There have been. I'll admit to it. I got a taste of humility now today, too. There's nothing wrong with a grown man crying either. I lost the Kentucky Derby last year. I was in tears. Like a little baby. I was crying. I was dead last. So even I'll cry. Anyway,
Man.
say goodbye.
Yo, I'd like to give a shout out though to my man Vincent Hinson and Ryan and Jamie Fancy Pants. Those are my peoples. But I'd like to also give a shout out to the main man.
Oh, this is too much now. This really is. It's too much.
This is Bill Wilson reincarnated.
This is Dr. Bob right here.
Look at
Fine
this.
example.
Look at this.
We emulate. Peace out. God bless. Be good to yourselves.
Woo.